Andrade drops a big tease about Charlotte Flair, released WWE Superstar ready to return as Alexa Bliss Lilly, and Booker T comments on a rumored title match at SummerSlam. Hello everyone, Jose G here bringing you today's top stories in today's Sportskeeda Wrestling News Roundup. To stay up to date with all of our content, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Andrade drops a big tease about Charlotte Flair. AEW star Andrade has dropped a major hint about Charlotte Flair via his official Twitter handle. Andrade got his WWE release in March and went on to make his big debut in All Elite Wrestling. Charlotte Flair is currently a top star on WWE Raw, feuding for the Raw Women's Championship. The two wrestlers regularly post photos of themselves together on social media. Andrade's latest post was a throwback picture featuring himself and Charlotte. In the backstage photo, Andrade and Charlotte can be seen holding the US title and the NXT Women's title respectively. What caught the attention of fans was Andrade's caption, in which he hinted that Charlotte will be in his corner in the future. Andrade's tease led to fans coming in droves speculating about a possible reunion in the future. Andrade and Charlotte Flair have been engaged for a while now. Andrade proposed to Flair back in January of 2020 and the latter accepted the same. Prior to Andrade's release from WWE, the two were definitely within a shout to be one of the company's power couple. Andrade did find for himself on the main roster as a mid-card act, but it all came crumbling down last October after his loss to Angel Garza on Raw. Andrade was immediately removed from WWE TV following the loss. It was later reported that Andrade had asked WWE for his release, which the Mexican star confirmed on Twitter. Andrade was finally let go in March, and he is now working for All Elite Wrestling. Charlotte Flair is currently eyeing the Raw Women's title as she lost to Nikki ASH. The Queen is dubbed as one of the biggest female stars of all time, and rightfully so. Charlotte has won more than a dozen titles so far. However, she still has a long way to go before she can break her father Ric Flair's record of 16 world titles. It seems highly unlikely that Charlotte will finish off her career anywhere else, as she is considered to be a WWE lifer. Rhea Ripley declares what she'll do to current champion at SummerSlam. Nikki ASH has a tough task ahead of her at SummerSlam 2021. The Raw Women's Champion, who cashed in her Money in the Bank contract last week to win the title, will now defend it against Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair in a triple threat match. Things turned for the worse for the almost superhero on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, as she lost to Charlotte Flair in the main event, who went on to mock her after her victory. Nevertheless, ASH's other opponent, Rhea Ripley, still holds the Raw Women's Champion in high regard. Appearing on Raw Talk, the Nightmare discussed her competition and showered praise on Nikki, saying, quote, "She believes in herself a lot at the moment, and kudos to her. She should. She's an amazing talent, and she has worked hard for this opportunity and this spot to be the Raw Women's Champion. But unfortunately for her, she is stepping into the ring with myself and Charlotte Flair. And I don't care how peppy she is or how much she believes in herself. I'm going in as Rhea Ripley, and what I do best is brutalize my opponent, and that's exactly what I'm going to have to do to Nikki." End quote. The Nightmare clearly has one thing on her mind: the Raw Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley isn't the only one who has respect for her opponents. The feeling is mutual from Nikki ASH too, who has tremendous respect for her SummerSlam opponents. On WWE's The Bump, ASH praised both Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. She believes both women have done their best to represent the women's division, and their matches have been both spectacular and brutal. It's great to see that both women hold each other in high regard. Charlotte Flair may not admit to it, but the Queen certainly has unspoken respect for her opponents too. Released WWE Superstar ready to return as Alexa Bliss Lilly. Chelsea Green has revealed she would jump on the chance of returning to WWE if she was offered the Lilly gimmick. The former WWE star claims it is the type of character she wants to be on screen. WWE released a few superstars in April of 2021 as a part of their budget cuts, and Chelsea Green was among them. While speaking on Those Wrestling Girl podcast, Chelsea Green claimed she was open to a WWE return, however she added the comeback would only happen if she was offered the Lilly gimmick by the company, saying, quote, "Honestly, if they called me and said, 'Do you want to be Lilly?' I would in a heartbeat, because that is totally the type of character that I just feel like we need to see, and I want to be that person," end quote. Chelsea Green also claimed she was jealous of Alexa Bliss for getting to work in character with The Fiend and wanted to team up with them. Chelsea Green was on Booker T's Hall of Fame podcast earlier this summer when she was quizzed on her release. The former WWE star did not have a concrete answer and claimed she was always pitching ideas to get on screen. Booker T comments on rumored title match at SummerSlam. WWE Champion Bobby Lashley could defend his title against WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg at SummerSlam. Booker T believes the match between the two won't last long and Lashley will most likely emerge as the winner. On his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T discussed the rumored match between the Almighty and Goldberg for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. The two-time Hall of Famer stated that the match may be a short one, while he also discussed the criticism that the company has got for bringing back the WWE legend, saying, quote, "The Goldberg thing, I don't know what the match is going to be like. Me, personally, I'm not trying to pick a winner or anything, but if I was picking one, it'll be Bobby Lashley. The match shouldn't last very long. It's nostalgia. For me, Bobby Lashley, tell you what, the one person who is not complaining is Bobby Lashley, because this is a legendary figure. Goldberg, to get the chance to get in the ring and do something with him, it's awesome. Who's to say at the end of the match, Brock Lesnar is going to walk out on that stage," end quote. Booker T also stated that he has a lot of faith in the direction WWE is taking this feud between Bobby Lashley and Goldberg. Bobby Lashley will likely face Goldberg at SummerSlam next month, which will be the latter's second match of the year in WWE. Another rumored match for the event is between current Universal Champion Roman Reigns and the recently returned John Cena. One match has been confirmed for next month's pay-per-view. It is a triple threat match between Nikki Ash, Charlotte Flair, and Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's title. Damian Priest claims Becky Lynch is the baddest WWE superstar from Ireland other than Sheamus. This week's episode of Raw saw Damian Priest defeat United States Champion Sheamus to become the new #1 contender for that title. It was a great match to watch, with the Celtic Warrior struggling to get into the game as he was more worried about his injured nose. Following the match, Damian Priest was seen backstage after Raw with Kevin Patrick for a segment of Raw Talk. When discussing his opponent Sheamus, Priest stated that his childhood in the Bronx has prepared him for tough situations. It was here that Kevin Patrick asked the Archer of Infamy if he had ever been to Sheamus's digs in the north of Ireland. Priest replied by saying that he hasn't, but he also took a sly shot at Sheamus in his response by suggesting that the Celtic Warrior isn't the baddest WWE superstar from Ireland. In fact, he named Becky Lynch as his choice for the title of baddest WWE superstar from Ireland, saying, quote, "I have not, but I've met a lot of badder people than him, including Becky Lynch, because she holds that title around these parts," end quote. There can be no denying that the man Becky Lynch is a great choice from Damian Priest. Nevertheless, he won't dwell too much on his decision and will be looking towards his future title opportunity. Sheamus was celebrating a major milestone on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw as he completed 100 days as United States Champion. Unfortunately, this was ruined by Damian Priest, who defeated him to become the new #1 contender. The Celtic Warrior originally won the title from Riddle at WrestleMania 37 and has only had one title defense match in his 100-day reign. The majority of his reign has seen him go up against the likes of Humberto Carrillo and Ricochet, two opponents that he easily handled until he broke his nose while fighting Carrillo. However, he now has a tougher, more physically superior opponent in Damian Priest. It's safe to say that Sheamus will have to bring his all when he faces the Archer of Infamy in his next title defense. Thanks for watching today's Sportskeeda Wrestling News Roundup. For more news stories and exclusive content, be sure to follow us on all social media. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Download the Sportskeeda app for the most up-to-date stories in the world of wrestling.